Let's hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots on goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some freaking money. It's time for Pocket with Joe. Hey, what's up, everyone? Happy Tuesday. It's time for a Pocket with Joe here on YouTube. Yes, a later start today, and we've only got a handful of games, not as many as a normal Tuesday out there, but plenty of opportunities to make some money. Now, if you join me for my Pocket Cup of Joe, it was just posted. Today has been absolutely crazy out there, but we're still going to go over those games that we talked about. But great to see you guys popping in. Hi to you, Kev, as well as Charles. Thanks for being here. If you guys are watching over on Instagram, make sure you do come on over here to YouTube. It's a lot of fun on YouTube. You can interact in that live chat. It's hard to catch them there. Yeah, we're late today, so I'm glad you are here with us, Bama boy. So let's jump into everything going out on the ice. 7 p.m. Eastern, the first puck will drop between the Seattle Kraken and the Detroit Red Wings. Now, looking at goaltenders, we do have Joey Detriot confirmed here for the Seattle Kraken, while Cam Talbot is still expected for the Detroit Red Wings. Looking at Seattle, over the last couple of games, they've been able to put some goals up on the board. You look at them the last 2 games, 9 goals out there. Still a little bit of issues with goaltending and defense. And I do think this Red Wings team has every ability to come in nice and strong and be able on their home ice to hit Joey Detriot tonight. I'm going to look at them to get this win. Now, the problem here with them getting the win is we look at those lines, and let me just pull up those lines. I was just going over a bit of basketball out there, you guys, not going to lie. I've got the Orlando Magic pulling off the upset. That one is tipping off pretty quick. I'm just going to center myself here. Hang on. Let's look at this one here. The problem is with the Red Wings, minus 178 on that money line. It keeps ticking up. You can bring it down into reg, and I do think this is a regulation win for the Red Wings. It's coming in at minus 110 in reg. You can also look at the Detroit Red Wings team total, and I like this. Their team total in this one coming in at 3.5. I do expect them to be able to get 4 goals in this. We know how high-powered this offense is, so over 3.5 goals for the Red Wings at plus 116. Dylan Larkin has 11 goals and 11 assists on the season. I'd look at Dylan Larkin for his anytime goal, as well as Lucas Raymond for that assist. 15 assists out of Lucas Raymond. So give me the goals here for the Red Wings. Yeah, it's time. Let's get going here. So plenty of time to make some money still out there on the ice. I hope you guys have all had a fantastic day as well. Let me know how your day has been. It's kind of like we're getting freezing rain here in Calgary. I had a couple of errands to run as well during the day. It was not fun out there. The next game we're going to kick it off with here is the matchup between the St. Louis Blues and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, Austin Matthews is out skating after injury, but he's not expected back out on the team officially in those games until Saturday. So this team, the Toronto Maple Leafs, still dealing with injuries. Now, Joseph Woll between the pipes for them tonight is confirmed here. Now, he's played that one game versus Chicago, and he looked pretty good, but it was versus the Chicago Blackhawks, right? So then you look at the St. Louis Blues, and you look at the St. Louis Blues, and this isn't a high-octane offense, but the problem here is for Toronto is who's going to be in net. And I'm just looking at confirmation. Yeah, Jordan Binnington is completely confirmed. There's no question marks around this. Jordan Binnington in his career has been elite out there, especially last season versus Toronto. Last season in the 2 games versus the Toronto Maple Leafs, he had a 1.50 goals against average and a 926 save percentage. So he looked fantastic versus Toronto last year. While he doesn't have good numbers this season, I am looking for Jordan Binnington to stand on his head, have that confidence against this Toronto team that's already depleted, that's struggling out there to get those wins. It's crazy to look. I believe they've lost their last 5. They're looking to stop the bleeding. They've gone 4-5-1 in their last 10. They're going to look to get back on track, but without so many key players out there, I think this is a hard one. I would look at St. Louis to get the win. Now, I don't want to take St. Louis at the price we're getting it's actually coming down, you guys. This might be a nice one. Yeah, so it's now minus 113. I saw it go as high as minus 120. So it's been fluctuating back and forth. A lot of people not wanting to bet against the Leafs here at home, but I do think it's a solid way to go. I think Joseph Woll gets lit up by the St. Louis Blues. And this is a team in St. Louis that's averaging under 3 goals per game. You can look at the St. Louis Blues team total over 2.5, but the books will make you pay. It's minus 120 or 166. So I can't go there. Could they get 4 goals in this? I won't be shocked if the St. Louis Blues come out and get 4 goals. So the over 3.5 goals for the St. Louis Blues is plus 148. I also think instead of doing that, I don't see this one going to OT. I would look at the 60-minute line here for the St. Louis Blues, especially now they moved into such a favorite role. So looking at the 60-minute line, you guys, and I'm going to get this in as soon as we're done, if I can find it on the book. It's plus 135. I'm going to take the Blues in 60 minutes. So in reg at plus 135. I'm hoping a lot of these games don't go to OT today because I'm looking for those regulation wins out there. Okay. The next one on deck. Oh, we got a new member, you guys. Great to see a new member here on YouTube. So Adriana, it's great to have you as part of the team. Kev leaning with the total for the Blues and Leafs. Yeah, I do think the St. Louis Blues can get those goals. We're going to see. I think Jordan Binnington will shut it out. So lean on the draw or maybe the Red Wings team total. I love the Red Wings. I love where you're going with that. I would look at the Red Wings team total as well. Okay, so let's move on to the New Jersey Devils and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Jacob Markstrom versus Andrei Vasilevskiy has been Vasilevskiy confirmed. Jacob Markstrom still not. Jacob Markstrom's been bleeding the goals, and we know no Jack Hughes in the lineup for the New Jersey Devils. Dougie Hamilton still listed a day-to-day the last time I checked, and we're still listing him day-to-day. I doubt Dougie Hamilton hits the ice. Now, we're looking at the New Jersey Devils. They are coming off a couple of wins, so they have been able to get a win without Jack Hughes, but I think this is a game where the Tampa Bay Lightning come out too strong. You look at how Braden Point's been playing, you guys, and how he's played versus the New Jersey Devils, and there's no denying him for that goal tonight. He has 5 goals in the last 6 games versus the New Jersey Devils, and I'm looking for him to come out and bring it today. The Tampa Bay Lightning have been solid. Now they are coming off that disappointing loss in their last game out, but I'm expecting them to be able to stand up nice and tall here at home. So that last game was versus the Vancouver Canucks on Sunday. The Vancouver Canucks brought more than I expected, so they won that one 6-2. But Andrei Vasilevskiy and the Tampa Bay Lightning should get back on track in this game, and I'm expecting them to come out nice and strong. So minus 160 here for the Tampa Bay Lightning. You know we can't bet it. You can take them in reg to get the regulation win. And I believe it drops it to minus 110 as well. Let me just double check those numbers for you because I put this bet in earlier today and I want to make sure you guys are still getting that value. So yeah, it's minus 110 still in regulation. I do think this is another one where you can look at the team total here for the Tampa Bay Lightning to the over 3.5 total goals for the Tampa Bay Lightning coming in up plus 110. So you will get that plus money there. I'll be shocked if they don't get 4 goals. Looking at Jacob Markstrom, he's got a 3.67 goals against average and an 870 save percentage this season. I cannot trust him to be able to come out strong. Now, I do think another way to look at Tampa is to get the win on that puck line, laying 1.5 at plus 140. I also think they come out and win that first period. So a couple of solid ways to go with the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight. Yeah, I think the reg bet is probably the best, bringing that down to the minus 110 mark. I don't see the Devils being able to push them into OT in this game. I just really don't see it happening out there. Okay. Next game on deck. Let me just pull up the lines here, you guys. We do have the Columbus Blue Jackets versus the Winnipeg Jets. Now, we look at the Winnipeg Jets. They're coming home from an extremely long road trip, right? So they were out on the road, 5-6 games. They finished in Calgary, able to get a nice win. They've been home for a couple of days now, and I do think the reason they're the favorite, it's the right way to go. Taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. I just really can't trust Columbus. Now, Columbus has been okay, on the road, they're sitting above 500 out there on the road. But the Winnipeg Jets, it wasn't a great road trip. If this was a super successful road trip for the Winnipeg Jets, I would expect them to have that down spot here, especially facing the Columbus Blue Jackets. But I don't think so. This road trip wasn't great. And I know they're able to get a win in their last couple and getting that win. No, just the last one in the win versus Calgary, but they had some really bad games out there on the road. Now, the last time these teams faced off was last December, and we did see Columbus get a big 4-1 win, but I'm not seeing it in this one. The only concern is your goaltending matchup. We got confirmation of Elvis between the pipes for the Columbus Blue Jackets. He's got a 3.14 goals against average and a 908 save percentage, so not solid numbers this season, but it's Eric Crombie in net for the Winnipeg Jets. It's not Connor Hellebuck. So his numbers aren't terrible, you guys. He's got a 2.75 goals against average and a 908 save percentage. I do think Winnipeg can do enough to get things done. Now, how I tackled Winnipeg, though, was looking at that first period. I want Winnipeg first period to come out nice and strong on their home ice in front of their home fans and get the win in the first period. The first period, you can look at them on the puck line, and I'm just going to grab that number for you. Laying the half a goal, it's plus 140. So I think it's a great bet at plus 140 for the Winnipeg Jets. Puck line first period. I do think a couple of their players really step up in this one and hit Elvis. I think this is a great game to look at the players for their points as well. I'm going to look, of course, you look at Kyle Connor, right? He's your go-to. He's plus 162 for 2+ points. Mark Scheifele at plus 196. Vladar coming in nice and strong at plus 285. He was the playmaker to get the shootout goal versus the Calgary Flames in that last game out. And then you got Josh Morrissey coming in nice and strong as well. Josh Morrissey and Vladar, I would look at for a point each. You can take them and parlay them. They're both juicy at like the minus 170, minus 180 mark for a regular point. But when you parlay them together, it brings that up to a plus 107. So that's Josh Morrissey and Gabriel Vladar for a point for the Winnipeg Jets. If you're looking at Kyle Connor and Mark Scheifele, you know they should be able to get on the board tonight. The problem is they're 3-1 for their points. So really hard place to bet them. But I think the best bet is the Winnipeg Jets. Puck line, first period, get that plus 140, get in and get the heck out because that was such a long road trip. It's got to be hard for these teams coming home off a road trip, even against a team like the Columbus Blue Jackets with Elvis between the pipes. So fast start, and then I don't care what happens there. Jets team total, they should be able to get 4, right? You look at Elvis, you look at his numbers, they should be able to come out here nice and strong and get things done. We'll just see what they're able to do. So I believe in them. I do believe that they have every ability here at home to get the win. They've also won their last 8 as a favorite against the Metropolitan Division. So they should come in. The trends are backing it. The Columbus Blue Jackets, though, have covered the puck line on the second night of a back-to-back in their last 5. So they're coming in here in that situation. They normally play tight in these games. And with Winnipeg returning home, I wouldn't trust the full period or the full game puck line. Now, the first period, like I said, where we're going to bet the Winnipeg Jets, they have won the last 4 first periods versus the Metro Division as well. So we got strong trends back in that one up. If you want the strong trend for the St. Louis Blues, going back to that game versus the Leafs, their first period wins against the Atlantic Division have hit in their last 4. So they do have that strength in the first period as well. So definitely another way to look in that game. Let's move on to the next game here, you guys. Let's pull up some lines. We have the New York Islanders versus the Dallas Stars. We got some big favorites today. The Dallas Stars, another one. That minus 176, where it doesn't give you much room. It's like you got to look at either in reg or take that puck line. So because the minus 176 you can't do. The Islanders are a plus 146 dog on the road. This total is 6.5. And if you're going, why are the Islanders at 6.5? It's because this Islanders team just hasn't been having success defensively like we've seen in the past. They are allowing those goals to come in. They're allowing 3.16 goals on average per game. Now, the Dallas Stars are holding opponents to under 3 goals per game at 2.79. So they have had that strength there. When we look at the kills on both sides, it's a weak kill here for the Dallas Stars. Their kill is only 75.4%. The power play, though, for the Stars is converting at 33.3%. So they've got the second best kill or power play across the league. The kill, 81.5% here for the Isles. So they'll have some success. They just have to stay out of the box. And this team is averaging double-digit penalty minutes. The Isles aren't playing discipline. We know they have playmakers out there. Barzal, Bo Horvat can get things done, and offensively, they're averaging over 3 goals per game at 3.21, 13th best in the league, but 3.26 here for the Dallas Stars. I think you just look at this one. Look at the first period. I do think both teams can score and that we go over 1.5. David Rittich is between the pipes. He's confirmed for the New York Islanders tonight. He's got a 3.15 goals against average at 893 save percentage. So you're not going to see him deny the Dallas Stars with Jason Robinson, Mikko Rantanen. They're going to be firing like crazy on him tonight. You also look at the Isles. They're allowing 29.1 shots on goal per game. That's not like this Isles team, and they're allowing it game in and game out. Now, for the Dallas side, we're counting on Dallas to get the majority of these goals, in my opinion, because Jake Ottinger has been solid on the season. He's got a 275 goals against average and a 900 save percentage, going 8-3-2. But that doesn't mean that we can't see the Isles, get a couple on him. I can see this being a very much 4-3 as much as I can see it being a 5-2. Either way, we go over that total of 6.5. So I know it's a lot when we look at the Isles, but I do think we go over the 6.5. It's coming in at plus 102. I'm going to look at the team total here of the Dallas Stars as well. And I kind of think that's who we're counting on, right? We're counting on the Dallas Stars to get the majority of those goals out there. And I really think on Rittich, you're going to see those goals coming in. So Dallas's team total over 3.5 at minus 108. If you just want to go that way, I think both are great ways to do it. So I am so glad that you are here. So it's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you for joining and being one of the members. Yeah, both teams to score. I think both teams score in the first period, and we're going to get great value with both teams to score in the first period. It's just something that, this isn't a norm for us with the Isles, but we've got to adjust to how the Islanders are playing this season. They're giving up the goals, but they are scoring them as well. So both teams to score in the first period coming in at plus 150. It is a great value compared to the over 1.5. Now, if you want to take the over 1.5, you're going to have to lay juice. It's minus 148 to the over 1.5, but both teams to score at plus 150. I do have the faith that they both come out strong. You just got to see the Isles hit Jake Ottinger right away. But like I said, playmakers on both sides of the puck. You look at Jason Robinson, Mikko Rantanen, and Wyatt Johnston. You want to look at Wyatt Johnston on that power play, you guys, for his power play points. He's just phenomenal out there. But looking at the Isles, Bo Horvat, Matthew Barzal, you look at them and then Kyle Palmieri, they have every ability to come out strong. And then Anders Lee for the goal. It's a sneaky one, you guys, plus 400. I don't think it's out of question. So you could go deep in this game because I do think the goals are coming in. We will see what happens out there. But again, everyone watching over on Instagram, come on over to YouTube. We're having a lot of fun over here. That is for sure. Okay. Next game on deck, and in the live chat, you guys let me know what you're liking. If you're building a long shot parlay, I definitely want to hear about it. So our next game, the Calgary Flames headed out on the road to take on the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, looking at this one, Calgary is 8th in the Pacific. We know that. Chicago, 4th in the Central. They're playing some good hockey, the Chicago Blackhawks, with Connor Bedard. They are coming off a win, and Calgary's coming off that loss to the Winnipeg Jets. Calgary in their last 10, 3-5-2, you guys, 5-3-2 for the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, I do think Connor Bedard, Tyler Bertuzzi, you've got those playmakers there for Chicago. They're coming off a win versus a Toronto Maple Leafs team that dealing with injuries, but still they won that 3-2. I do think Calgary has, their lineup is a lot weaker even than Toronto's lineup with those injuries. So I think Chicago is barking here at home. So looking at the current price on this one, because Chicago was right around that plus 105, it's now minus 102. Calgary's still minus 118. It's Chicago or pass in this one for me. Sonderblom between the pipes. So that is where the concern is coming for people. He's 2-2-1 on the season with a 2.63 goals against average and a 913 save percentage. Dustin Wolf, I tell you, I was at the game the other night and I was sitting and I always knew Dustin Wolf was small between the net. You can tell it when you watch him from home, and you can tell it when you watch him from the side, but I was right behind the goal for a Saturday night's game, and that's where it's really like the difference in his size compared to when we saw Connor Hellebuck down at our end behind the net. The difference where his numbers on his jerseys hit for the crossbar is just insane. And I do think Dustin Wolf, he's going to be a great goaltender. He really is, but I don't know, you guys. He's 5-10-2 on the season. Last year, he was fantastic. We've seen glimpses. He had a great game versus the Sharks, but I think we're going to see Chicago score on him. He's got a 3.01 goals against average and an 896 save percentage, just kind of coming back down to earth off a hot rookie year. So I'm going to take Chicago in this one. I'm going to look at Connor Bedard for that anytime goal. I think this one goes over the total, though, -128 to the over. I'm looking for Calgary to be able to convert tonight on the power play. If they can continuously convert on the power play, this is a power play that's not clicking, but you've got one of the weaker kills out here for Chicago. If Calgary can capitalize, and the playmaker I want to look at is Nazem Kadri on that power play for his power play goal tonight, I think it's a really solid way to go. Let me just see the power play point for Nazem Kadri. His power play point coming in at, if we get it, Nazem Kadri is weird, you guys. I'm not getting his power play point. Is Nazem Kadri not playing? Tyler Bertuzzi listed day to day. I'm not sure. Have we moved off of Nazem Kadri? Let me know if you guys are hearing anything on him. Let me just see if I'm getting him for the anytime goal. I do. Yeah, Nazem Kadri is still listed for the anytime goal, just not the power play point on the book that I'm looking at. He's +220 for the anytime goal, and I do think a solid way to go. I was looking at him for the anytime power play goal. I was thinking that was going to come into play, but we're not getting the value or the line out there on FanDuel when I'm looking now. Connor Bedard for the power play point, another way to go. I do think conversions on the power play will come for both of these teams tonight. So solid way to go, but Chicago is barking in my opinion. Yeah. I know. I can't believe they're not coming in as the big favorite in this one. They should be. So look at Chicago to get things done. Tara Vinen, I think, will have a big day. We got Nazar back in the lineup for them as well. Now, when we move further down today, we do have the New York Rangers taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. This is going to be interesting because this is a Rangers team, you guys, that can get the wins on the road. They just haven't been able to get the wins at home. They're 9-1-1 on the road this season, but 8-2 or 10-8-2 overall. So when they come out on the road, they're able to get things done. The last 3 games here, I think all of the dogs are worth a shot. I'm going to roll with the New York Rangers. Now, they were coming in at +116. It's moved a little bit. It's +114. We got a total of 5.5 in this one, -122 to the over. It's Igor Shesterkin versus Smid in between the pipes for the Vegas Golden Knights. We know Vegas has been struggling as of late, especially at home. They're coming in off another loss in their last game out, in which they lost in overtime to the Minnesota Wild out there on the road. So when we look at their schedule, you guys, they had a couple of road games. They split the St. Louis Blues and the Minnesota Wild. So split those games. Their last game at home was versus the Isles. That one went to overtime. They had the loss the game before to the Panthers, and they had an overtime loss the game prior to the Anaheim Ducks at home. They lost to the Tampa Bay Lightning at home and got the win versus the Red Wings. So they've been a mixed bag at home. And I do think with how this Rangers team has been playing, they're worth a shot at +114 for the New York Rangers to come out and hit Smith nice and hard in this game. I've got to go there, you guys. I do think a couple of the playmakers you want to circle out there, definitely on the Vegas side of things. And I think it's going to be a higher scoring game in which the Rangers win. I would look at Panarin for the New York Rangers for 2+ points and Mika Zibanejad for a point tonight. But on the Vegas side, Jack Eichel, Dorofeev. I love Dorofeev's ability in front of the net. He's scrappy, but Mitch Marner for the anytime goal here at home. Mitch Marner has been so solid on the season. Mitch Marner for the goal coming in at +250. I think we go higher scoring and the Rangers get the win. And Kev, I'm so glad you're leaning on the Rangers for the win as well. Okay, last but not least, we got one more game on deck, you guys. Let's jump to it. The Utah Mammoth versus the San Jose Sharks. And I kind of spoiled it. It's the San Jose Sharks, right? We got to take the Sharks at home at plus 112. The Utah Mammoth coming into this game. I tell you, this team is interesting. They're coming off that loss to the Anaheim Ducks. That was an overtime loss on Monday night, 3-2. They are sitting here with there was only a 2-game road trip. They're back Thursday at home versus Vegas Golden Knights, and they have the Rangers at home, then the Vegas Golden Knights again at home. So 2 of their next 3 games are versus Vegas, and I do think it's kind of going to be a look ahead here situation to the Vegas Golden Knights. They think they're going to be able to come in and get the win over the San Jose Sharks, but this Sharks team is sneaky at home. Now, I know they've lost their last 2. They took that loss to the Seattle Kraken 4-1, and they lost to the Calgary Flames out there on the road 2-0 as well. They had a 3-game road trip. They did get the 1 win in OT versus the Minnesota Wild, then lost their last 2. They weren't out on the road that long. Remember, this is a San Jose Sharks team that did beat, look at this. They beat the Panthers 3-1 at home. They beat the New York Jets at home 2-1, right? Like, this is a team that can get those wins. And I trust the Sharks at plus 112. They can take down the Utah Mammoth. Now, if they're going to be able to do so, Tyler Toffoli I got for the goal and Celebrini for the goal. I think they do it by putting those goals up on the board. So your goaltending matchup is Vanacek in between the pipes here for the Utah Mammoth. He's got a 2.85 goals against average and an 875 save percentage versus Asarov, who is coming in with a 906 save percentage and a 3.09 goals against average. I love the speed in transition that the Sharks bring, but the problem is Utah brings that as well. I expect this one to be high flying. This can be an overtime game as well. High flying over the 6.5, both teams to score in the first period. This is going to be back and forth battle between these 2 teams. I don't see either slowing down their pace out there on the ice. And you look at Utah and you look at all their playmakers out there, and they're not going to be able to, come into this one. The Sharks won't be able to defensively guard Dylan Guenther, Logan Cooley, Clayton Keller, Nick Smoltz, right? Like, you look at those playmakers, 4 right off the top of my lists that have every ability to just fire at will. And then you got Peterka coming out there, who's been so solid as well. And then looking at the Sharks, you got Macklin, Celebrini, Will Smith, who's been absolutely fantastic at getting those assists. You got Tyler Toffoli, you got Eklund. You've got such young, raw talent between both of these teams. Both teams to score in the first period, the overtime bet, the over 6.5. This game is going to be the most entertaining one out there. Yeah, the over 1.5 and both teams to score in the first period. It should be a great game between these 2 teams. So you guys, that is it for the games. I was really shocked with our limited slate today. Only those 8 games. Now tomorrow, because of that, there's still only 4. But Thursday, it's going to be a loaded day out there on the ice. So Thursday, we are going to see what? I think we see 10 games on Thursday. I'll be shocked if actually we don't see 12. Yeah, we got 12 games out there on a Thursday. And one thing to note, Calgary is on the first night of a back-to-back. That doesn't matter for Calgary. They need to get every win they can get. They've got Buffalo tomorrow. We'll see Edmonton and Washington, Carolina and Minnesota, Boston and Anaheim. So some good games. Boston will be looking to get back in that win column. 8-2 in their last 10, though, you guys, but lost in their last game yesterday. Couple other trend bets for you guys. The New York Rangers have won their last 6 on the road. Like I said, the Maple Leafs have been bleeding, losing their last 5 games out there. The Dallas Stars on the opposite end of that, winning their last 5. The Chicago Blackhawks have covered their puck line in the last 5 games. A lot of those, they have been underdogs. So be cautious with that if you're looking to take the Chicago Blackhawks. Laying 1.5 versus Calgary, but you guys, you can see it happening, right? I think Chicago probably wins that 4-2, if not 5-2. The San Jose Sharks have won as an underdog their last 4 versus the Central as well. So nice solid trend on why you would back them. And you look at the Vegas Golden Knights in their game tonight. Remember, we're taking the New York Rangers. The Vegas Golden Knights have failed to cover that puck line at home following an overtime game. and they've in their last 7. So I don't see Vegas getting the win tonight. The New Jersey Devils have won on the road as an underdog against the Atlantic in their last 6. I do think that trend comes to an end today. So you can either roll with trends or you can go against them. I don't like always rolling with the trends, you guys. I think it gets kind of dangerous when you do. But a couple other anytime goal scorers. We're just going to look at a couple of players out here who have been strong, and then we'll get into that recap. You guys, right before the puck drops at the top of the hour, Kyle Connor. We talked about him here for the Winnipeg Jets. If you like the first-time goal scorers, he has scored the first goal in 3 of his last 4 appearances versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. So his anytime first goal, like the first goal of the game, like his anytime goal you can bet, but his first goal out there for both of these teams, it's plus 950. So Victor Hedman of the New Jersey Devils has scored, Victor Hedman of the Tampa Bay Lightning, that's where I was going wrong, has scored at least 1 goal in 4 of the Lightning's last 5 games against the Devils. So Victor Hedman, another strong player to come out and look at. His anytime goal, it's a long shot. He's coming in at plus 600. So another way to go with that game. I'm just looking if there is anyone else I like out here. When you look at the St. Louis Blues, Dylan Holloway has scored in 3 of the Blues' last 4 games. So he's coming in at plus 275. Let me know if you're going to roll with any of these bets out there. So those are your trend players for those anytime goals, you guys. I think it's going to be a fun night on the ice. So we're sitting here at the 31-minute mark. Let's get into that recap. We'll fly through these games really quick here. So let me just pull up all of those lines for you guys. 1 second. Okay. The New Jersey Devils versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. 7:08, the puck will drop on this one. Give me the Tampa Bay Lightning in regulation, dropping that to minus 110. I also think the Tampa Bay Lightning can go over the 3.5 goals. In this game, you'll get plus 110 for that. Braden Point, love him tonight for the goal for the Tampa Bay Lightning. The St. Louis Blues versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. The St. Louis Blues, I'm really disappointed to see their minus 114, but Toronto's still dealing with injuries. I do think the St. Louis Blues can come out, get a nice big win. I don't trust Joseph Woll in only a second start here. And we do look at the St. Louis Blues, and I think they have every ability to come out nice and strong with Jordan Binnington between the pipes. He's had solid numbers. I think you could look at the St. Louis Blues, dare I say it, puck line laying 1.5 in Toronto at plus 210. I think they win that big of a game here over the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Detroit Red Wings, another team that you got to drop to a regulation bet at minus 110 over the Seattle Kraken. I do think this one goes over the 5.5, though both of these teams have had defensive issues. Seattle's been scoring as of late, even though overall in the season, they're still averaging under 3 goals. I think they do their share in this one. If you just want to look at Detroit's team total over 3.5, I don't blame you. I would go there. The Dallas Stars, I do think they get a big win versus the New York Islanders tonight. Backup goaltending in for the Isles. The Dallas Stars minus 1.5 coming in at plus 138. On that puck line, I also think Mikko Rantanen and Jason Robinson for those anytime goals, but the Isles are going to get their share as well. I think the over 6.5 is in play. You're getting that at plus 102. The Columbus Blue Jackets and the Winnipeg Jets. Give me the first period here for the for the Winnipeg Jets. On that puck line laying a half a goal, that was coming in at plus 140. You guys, I love Winnipeg to come out nice and strong in this game. And before I forget the Isles and the Dallas Stars, I did like both teams to score in the first period. That was getting you great plus money as well. And then for the Winnipeg Jets, back to that game, Kyle Connor for 2+ points. We set that trend about Kyle Connor for the first goal. He's been strong versus the Columbus Blue Jackets getting that first goal. So you could look there. It's almost at plus 1,000 at plus 950. So another way to look, but I think Winnipeg, I'm going to get in and out. I'm just going to look at the first period there on the Winnipeg Jets, but I don't blame you if you go with Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele in that game. The Calgary Flames versus the Chicago Blackhawks. Give me the home dog in Chicago. It's minus 102. Give me Connor Bedard for the power play goal tonight, power play point. Then on the Calgary side, I think Nazem Kadri is able to net one on the power play. Unfortunately, FanDuel, when I'm going over these lines here, isn't giving me that power play point or power play goal. I'm going to go shop it, you guys, and always shop those lines. I'll look after, but I do think he can find the back of the net tonight because the kill's not great here for Chicago. And I know Calgary's power play hasn't been converting, but they need to start converting. And I do think Kadri gets it tonight. So look for the power play goals between both of these teams in this one. The New York Rangers and the Vegas Golden Knights. Give me the Rangers. They are so solid out there on the road. They're a weird team, right? They're playing fantastic hockey on the road, not able to get the wins at home. Vegas just hasn't looked like themselves as of late. And you want me to lay minus 140 with a Vegas team that's, again, dealing with injuries, not being able to get these wins. I do think the New York Rangers absolutely barking. Plus 114 for the Rangers. I do think we go over the 5.5 at minus 122, though. I think this is a 4-3 win for the New York Rangers. The Utah Mammoth versus the San Jose Sharks. Sharks barking at home, plus 112. This is a team that's taken down Florida at home. I'll take them versus Utah. Over 6.5 at plus 106. Both teams to score in the first period at plus 150. Give me Macklin Celebrini for the anytime goal. Tyler Toffoli for anytime goal. Clayton Keller for an anytime goal. I'll go there as well. But that is it for today, you guys. Only 8 games out there on the ice. I'm excited for this one. Okay, let's see. Your Taco Tuesday parlay. The Red Wings on the money line. DeBrincat. You got to love DeBrincat for a point. Stars in regulation. Tampa and Devils over 4.5. Nice way to go. Braden Point for a point. Kucherov for a point. Blackhawks Flames under 2.5 first period at plus 833. Damn, I love that, you guys. I think that is a parlay that we all want to tail. I love that one. Playing around with those numbers, bringing them a little bit down in some situations. You're looking at DeBrincat. There's also, of the Red Wings, Dylan Larkin and Lucas Raymond, other playmakers really to look at out there on the ice as well. I want to see now that Jordan Binnington is confirmed for the St. Louis Blues if we're able to get a save shots on goal for Jordan Binnington, because I do think Toronto's still going to be shooting that puck. I just think they're weak shots on him. Jordan Binnington is not listed. There he is. 22.5. That's a light number for Jordan Binnington here. The St. Louis Blues still allowing those shots to come in. I'd take Jordan Binnington over the 22.5. Now, this is an interesting one. Jordan Binnington to record 8+ save shots in each period at plus 500. Damn, you guys. FanDuel is begging me to jump in on that. Let me know if you would be willing to take Jordan Binnington to record 8+ saves in each period at plus 500. I think he can get there. I really do. I think that is a fun long shot. Let me know what your long shot bet of the day is going to be. Again, you guys, for me, it is the dogs. The dogs are barking. So these are your dogs of the day. We can't bet Tampa unless you bring it. And it's funny, money is coming in late on the New Jersey Devils. The Tampa Bay Lightning were minus 170 when we started the show. Now minus 150. I wonder if there was an injury update that we are hearing about. Let me know if you guys are seeing it out there. But these are your dogs that are barking. I do think the Isles, I can't get there with the Isles. It is late games. That's where the dogs are barking. 8:40, the Chicago Blackhawks. 10:09, the New York Rangers. 10:10, the San Jose Sharks. Let's go, you guys. The dogs are barking on the ice. I want to thank each and every single one of you for being here today. Good luck to you all, and let's make some freaking money. I will see you tomorrow for Puck It with Joe. Make sure you turn on the notification bell over here on YouTube so you do know when we go live, because days like today where it kind of gets away from me, we have to do these later shows. But we'll always try to get to the Puck It with Joe. It will be a cup of Joe. Puck It with Joe, we'll be here on the daily. So you guys, all the best in all your bets. Until next time, stay hot and let's make some freaking money and tail this parlay. I love this parlay. Best of luck in all of your bets tonight, you guys. Let's make some freaking money. See you next time. If I can end the show. Bye, guys.